Have you ever noticed how a single question can quietly expose you? Did you watch the game? And in that split second, something uncomfortable flickers inside you, because your honest answer would make you sound different, detached, maybe even suspicious, as if not caring about sports means you're missing a piece of being human. And what if that difference says something unsettling about who you really are? Stay with that feeling, because beneath that casual question hides a deeper fear. The fear that if you don't obsess over what everyone else obsesses over, you might not belong at all. And yet, what if that very discomfort is pointing to a psychological truth most people never stop long enough to confront? Here's the problem nobody admits out loud. While stadiums roar and living rooms vibrate with collective emotion, some people sit quietly, untouched, not because they're numb, but because their minds are wired to look elsewhere for meaning. And that difference creates pain on both sides. Fans feel misunderstood, non-fans feel judged, and both wonder, silently, what's wrong with me? The pain deepens when you realize how early this divide begins. Childhood conversations, office small talk, social bonding rituals, so many of them orbit around games, scores, heroes. If you don't speak that language, you learn to smile, nod, pretend. But here's the unsettling question that lingers underneath: are you pretending because you're broken? Or because you see something others don't? Psychology gives this tension a name, though it rarely explains it gently. The human brain is obsessed with belonging, but not all belonging looks the same. Some people bond by synchronizing their emotions with millions of strangers, riding the same highs and crashes together, while others feel strangely hollow doing that, as if borrowing emotions instead of living their own. That hollow feeling isn't apathy, it's resistance. A quiet refusal of the mind to invest deeply in outcomes it cannot touch, influence, or change. And if that's true, then the real question isn't why some people love sports so intensely, but why others instinctively pull away, and what that instinct is protecting them from. Think about anticipation for a moment. For many fans, anticipation is intoxicating, the countdown, the tension, the what if. But for others, anticipation without agency feels like anxiety disguised as entertainment. Their nervous system doesn't interpret unpredictability as excitement, it reads it as noise. And here's the curiosity loop: if excitement and anxiety share similar biological pathways, could indifference to sports actually be a form of emotional self-regulation rather than disinterest? That idea alone unsettles the assumption that passion must always look loud. There's a harsher truth hiding underneath, and this is where it starts to sting. Many people who don't obsess over sports learned early that tying self-worth to external victories is dangerous. Maybe not consciously, but emotionally. Somewhere along the way, they realized how fragile borrowed pride can be. When joy depends on strangers winning, loss feels personal even when it shouldn't. So their psyche adapts. It builds a quieter, more self-contained sense of identity, one that doesn't rise and fall with a scoreboard. The cost of that stability, though, is social friction. You gain inner steadiness but lose an easy doorway into group connection. And that trade-off raises another uncomfortable question: is emotional independence worth social misunderstanding? What makes this even more complex is empathy. Sports fans are often deeply empathetic, feeling real pain for players they've never met. That's not weakness, it's emotional practice. But empathy is finite. People who don't pour it into games often redirect it inward or toward fewer, closer targets. Relationships, ideas, creations, struggles they can actually touch. And here's the curiosity that keeps looping back: if everyone has a limited emotional budget, what does it say about you where you choose to spend it? More importantly, who benefits from that choice, and who doesn't? At some point, this becomes less about sports and more about how meaning is constructed. For some minds, meaning lives in grand narratives, rivalries, comebacks, dynasties, legends repeated across generations. For others, those narratives feel oddly hollow because they reset every season, erasing yesterday's drama without changing anything essential about today's life. These people search for meaning where effort leaves a permanent mark, in skills refined, bonds deepened, thoughts explored. And here's the quiet tension: when two people build meaning in fundamentally different ways, they can sit side by side and still feel worlds apart. Now comes the emotional peak, the truth that rarely gets said because it makes everyone uncomfortable. Sometimes, not caring about sports isn't about taste at all, it's about survival. It's about avoiding environments where worth is measured in dominance, where volume equals value, where aggression masquerades as loyalty. Not everyone feels safe or seen in those spaces. Some learned that early, and their nervous system never forgot. That doesn't make sports culture bad, but it does mean indifference can be a boundary, not a flaw. And once you see that, you can't unsee it. But here's where the story twists again. Non-fans aren't immune to obsession, they just obsess differently. They can disappear into books, projects, conversations, inner worlds. They experience flow not by watching history unfold, but by building something fragile and personal in real time. The irony is sharp. While one group escapes into collective drama, the other dives into private intensity. Both are chasing transcendence. Both are trying to feel fully alive. And that raises the final curiosity loop: if the destination is the same, why do the paths look so incompatible? The misunderstanding between these worlds persists because each side assumes the other is missing out. Fans think non-fans lack passion. Non-fans think fans are distracted from real life. But psychology suggests something more nuanced and more humbling. These are not superior or inferior ways of being, just different strategies shaped by temperament, experience, and subtle neural preferences. The tragedy isn't the difference itself, it's the judgment layered on top of it. So the next time someone asks if you saw the game and your answer is no, notice the reflex to explain, justify, soften the truth. Ask yourself why that reflex exists. Is it fear of being seen as less human, less connected, less alive? Or is it the quiet confidence of someone who knows their attention is already fully claimed by something else? That moment holds more psychological information than any scoreboard ever could. And once you recognize that, you may start to wonder, not who's missing out, but who's actually choosing how they live, and who's simply following the loudest story in the room.